What's up everybody, and welcome back to a brand new Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Leak video. And today I'm very excited to talk about some of the skills that got leaked in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links a week or two ago. I've wanted to talk about these leaks for a little bit now, but I'm finally now sitting down and getting ready to talk about these new leaks, so I'm very looking forward to that. We're going to be talking about some cool leaks for the Dark Side of Dimensions world. It's going to be adding some awesome stuff for Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links when the Dark Side of Dimensions world comes into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. And sorry for anybody that's watching this video that has already heard about these leaks, because most of you guys have probably seen these leaks from it's Brad as HD, but I still appreciate all of you guys that may or may not have heard about these leaks before, and this is the first time you're going to be hearing about them, or if you already watched Brad's video and you're watching this video from start to finish, I strongly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for the support. And yeah, let's get into today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Leak video, talking about all these brand new skills for the Dark Side Dimensions world. As always, when it comes to these Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links leaks, thank you to Duel Links Meta and Random Blocks for data mining the content and all that good stuff right there. If you want to check out Duel Links Meta's website, be sure to go check it out. Link in the description down below. Be sure to check out Random Blocks' channel if you guys want to. Both of those will be in the description down below. We're going into that high-quality slideshow leaks, highest quality content on the Watt77 channel, Omega Low. But the first skill we're going to be talking about is this very generic skill that could be seen in multiple characters for the Dark Side Dimensions world, which is Attack Charge, which seems to be a pretty cool skill. So you can increase the attack of one of your monsters 100 times the number of turns. You only can use this skill once per duel. So this is actually a really cool skill, because from what I could tell, while you only can use this skill once per duel, it permanently gives you the all that attack to your monster for the majority of the duel, or for the rest of the duel until your monster gets destroyed, which is pretty cool right there. And what's really nice about this skill is that this will be very helpful to all sorts of decks. Now I feel like in a lot of situations, probably Beatdown and Tides of Mind might be a lot better in certain situations when it comes to using Attack Charge. But what is nice about this skill right here is that I think this would work well for just decks that already is able to summon really high attack monsters, and if they just need that slight extra boost to either finish off the opponent, or if they need that slight boost in case if you're going against like a road deck or something and your opponent whips out this gigantic monster with a ton of attacks, I think Attack Charge could be a very sneaky and unexpected skill that you can give one of your already really strong monsters on the field a extra attack boost to just get over a crazy attack monster, which is pretty cool right here. And since the fact that Attack Charge does not get rid of itself at the end of the turn, it just permanently stays on monster for the majority of the duel, I think is really cool. But like I said, in some situations I feel like Tides of Bind and Beatdown would be a lot better for a lot of situations right there. But at least Attack Charge stays on your monster for the rest of the duel until your opponent, or until the duel is over, but you only can use the skill once per duel. But Attack Charge is very cool. Now on the opposite side of the coin, we have Defense Charge. So Defense Charge increases the defense of one of your monsters by 200 times the number of turns until the end of the next turn. You only can use the skill once per duel. Now I'm kind of iffy on Defense Charge, and I feel like that this skill is just not as good as Attack Charge for many reasons right there. While it is nice that the defense of your monster gets boosted by 200 times the number of turns compared to 100 times the number of turns, it's still pretty handicapped, because one, your monster does lose that amount of defense until the end of the next turn. If we double check Attack Charge, I believe it says, yeah, it doesn't go away until the end of the next turn. It just stays on your monster times the number of turns, which is really cool right there. So Attack Charge stays around for the rest of the duel, if I'm reading that correctly. But with Defense Charge, it goes away at the end of the next turn. It only works for defense position monsters, and your opponent would know what's the defense of your monster when you use this skill, so your opponent can play around it if they need to. And overall, it's just kind of like whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like a whatever skill right there. So it's cool that we have it, but it's like kind of ridiculous right there. But yeah, it's a very generic skill. I don't see this skill seeing that much play at all, but it'll be especially compared to Attack Charge. I feel like Attack Charge is going to see a lot of play. So the next skill we're going to talk about is LP Boost Delta. You can add 3,500 to your starting life points and reduce your starting hand by 3 cards. So we already have skills like LP Boost Alpha and Beta and all that stuff right there. So we already have skills like that in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. So we already kind of know what this skill does. But this is just kind of adding upon the whole life point boost thing by going a step beyond. So we can add 3,500 to your starting life points, but you reduce your starting hand by 3 cards. I don't really see any use of this skill like whatsoever, but maybe somebody will figure out a good meme deck that you can use with LP Boost Delta right there. But I don't think this skill is going to see any play at all. And then on top of that, we also have a skill called LP Boost Omega, where if you just want to meme it up for hardcore, you can add 5,000 life points to your starting LP and reduce your starting hand by 4 cards. Maybe it would work decently in Infernities, I guess. You could try it in an Infinity deck, but yeah, I don't see the point of this skill either. Honestly, Delta would probably be a little bit better when it comes to using it with Infernities, because you get that huge boost of life points, and then you start off with one card on your hand, so you at least can go to potential Frenity combos. So there's that right there. But yeah, I don't know. El Point Boost, Delta, and Omega, I don't really see them seeing that much to play at all, but it's cool that we have them in the game when Dark Side of Magic World comes out, but it's like, meh. And the last generic skill we're going to be talking about is Life Charge. Heal 200 life points times the number of turns. You only can use the skill once per duel. So I feel like there is better skills out there when it comes to Life Point Boost and gaining stuff, but I mean, you could probably try this out in a potential Arrow Mage deck. If you really want to, you can get some life points right there, or maybe if you just need to scum by a couple life points, you can use this skill late duel, late game, and give yourself some extra life points to live for another turn. But I feel like there's probably other better skills out there, because I know that's like with Tasselberry has a skill down DNA, I believe it's what it's called, where you gain 200 life points per turn, which is pretty nice. So I like that right there. I think it's going to be a lot better than Life Charge, but I mean, hey, we got Life Charge, cool, I guess, but it's another skill where it's like, whatever, I don't really see this skill seeing much play at all. But now let's go move on to some of the more cool skills for today's video. Those ones were just kind of lame and generic. First skill we're going to talk about is one that's very cool, and I mentioned this in a previous Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Leak video, but you have Alternative White Dragon. You can change one Blue Eyes White Dragon monster on the field whose attack is 3,000 or more to Alternative White Dragon. You only use the skill once per duel. So basically what this is allowing you to do is you have a Blue Eyes White Dragon on your field, chilling on the field with 3,000 or more attack. So if it's wall disrupted, you can't use the skill. But if your Blue Eyes White Dragon with 3,000 attack is on the field, you can swap it out for Alternative White Dragon, Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, which if you didn't already, this is an 8-star light dragon effect monster. It cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special summoned from your hand, but revealing a Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand. You can special summon a Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon once per turn this way. This card's named because Blue Eyes White Dragon while it's on the field or in the graveyard. Once per turn, you can target a monster opponent controls destroy, but this card cannot attack the turn you activate its effect. So Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon is really cool because you can just get rid of one monster your opponent controls, and afterwards you can summon like a 1-star tuner monster and go for a synchro summon into one of your Blue Eyes White Dragon monsters, which is really cool in my opinion. So that's why Alternative Dragon is pretty spicy. And honestly, in some cases, if you really think about it, Alternative White Dragon as a skill is actually kind of better compared to having Alternative White Dragon like as in your deck or whatever, because with Alternative White Dragon you kind of make your Blue Eyes Alternate White Dragon kind of like an extra deck card if you think about it, because you can use the skill whenever. It doesn't say that you need to wait a certain amount of turns to activate the skill in the first place, and you can just activate Alternative White Dragon whenever you want. So first turn if you want to summon your Blue Eyes White Dragon and then swap it out for Alternative White Dragon. You don't need to have Alternative White Dragon in your hand in order to trigger this skill. So if we get this skill like day 1 in Dark Side Dimensions World 4 Seto Kaiba, yeah, that would actually be pretty freaking good in my opinion. The only downside to it is that you only can use the skill once per duel, which makes a lot of sense, but you get a free Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon just like that. The skill is actually pretty good if you think about it. So the next skill we're going to be talking about right here is Complete Scourge of Defeat. You can use this skill from turn 6 and onwards. Put on top of your deck one copy of Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon. Also, if your opponent has a monster on the field with 3,500 defense, add from outside of your deck one Chaos form. You only use this skill once per duel. Now, personally for me, the skill is honestly not that good at all, but it is cool that it gives us access to Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon. So with this skill, you only can use this skill from turn 6 and onwards, which is already a handicap right there because you have to wait that many turns. And then on top of that, you have to put Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon on top of your deck. So you have to wait a whole nother turn until your next turn so you can draw it to the card. Also, if your opponent has a monster with 3,500 defense on the field with more than 3,500 defense on the field, then you can add from outside your deck one Chaos form. So for what I could tell, currently how Konami is kind of settling up this skill right here, on top of the fact that you have to wait a whole nother turn from Chaos Max Dragon, and then on top of that, the only way that we can probably access Chaos form to ritual summon into Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon is if your opponent has a card with 3,500 more defense, which is just a scenario that you're just not going to see like that much at all in my opinion. So it's cool that we have access to the card, but from how the skill is like how it works currently, I doubt we're going to see Blue Eyes Max Dragon like at all in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, but it would be cool if we were able to summon it. But from how handicapped it is, I doubt you're going to see this, especially in the ranked PvP ladder. So this skill is very Resident Sleeper, which is cool that it gives us access to Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon. But if you do get your Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon on the field, here's this card's effect. Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon is an 8-star Dark Dragon ritual effect monster. You can ritual summon this card with Chaos form. Must be ritual summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effects. This card attacks defense special monster, can inflict double piercing battle damage to your opponent. This card has 4,000 attack and 0 defense. Hopefully when this skill gets added into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, hopefully there's a way to get Chaos Form potentially through Seto Kaiba level up reward. I think then this skill would be used a little bit more, but if Chaos Form, if the only way we can get Chaos Form is through this skill, then yeah, don't expect Chaos Max Dragon like at all in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, but Seto Kaiba or Dark Side Dimension, Seto Kaiba gets added to Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, hopefully it can get Chaos Form as a level up reward, so then we can see some memes with Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon, so there's that right there. Next up, we're going to talk about this skill called the Strongest Evolved Dragon. At the start of the duel, put in your extra deck one Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon and 1 Neos Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. So a very simple skill that adds more cards to the extra deck, which is very cool right there. And if you didn't know already, this is the card right here, Neos Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. So Neos Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon is a light 12-star dragon fusion effect monster. So to fusion summon into this card, it takes 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. At the end of the damage step, this is the only face-up card you control, and this fusion summon card attacked, you can send a Blue Eyes fusion monster for your extra deck to the graveyard, and this card can attack again on the rolls. So for example, you can pitch your Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon to the graveyard to let Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon attack again. When it comes to pitching your fusion Blue Eyes White Dragon monsters, you only can use the effect of Neos Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon up to twice per turn. So there's that right there. But yeah, if you have multiple Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragons in your deck, just keep pitching them to the graveyard to keep letting this card attack, which is pretty cool. Also, during each player's turn, with a card or effect that targets a Blue Eyes monster you control, you can banish this card from a graveyard to negate the activation if you do destroy the card. So good meme card. I doubt we're gonna see any like really competitive play about this card, but I guess it is a better version of Neos Ultimate, or this card is a better version of Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. So for any of you guys that are itching to just anime it up, just play an anime deck, be sure to play the skill when Dark Side Dimension Seto Kaiba comes into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Be sure to use this card because this is definitely a better version of Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, and I wouldn't mind trying Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon again using this skill just for fun, not for competitive reasons, but just for fun reasons only. So cool skill right there. Next up, we're going to be talking about a skill which I'm not too sure which character is going to have this skill, but I did catch up on Brad's video on what he predicted these skills are going to go towards. So he predicted that most likely Seto Kaiba will have this skill, so we're just going to say for now that Seto Kaiba might have this skill, but this could definitely be for any other character. So anyways, this skill is called Your Strength Doesn't Work on Me. Select one continuous spell card or trap card targeting one of your monsters. Make that card ineffective until the end of this turn. You only can use the skill once per duel. Now, at the top of my head, I can't really see a situation where this skill will be very useful, but you never know in a future meta in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links where there would be a very busted continuous spell and trap card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links where you could just use the skill as a tech to basically play around that annoying continuous spell card or trap card that targets one of your monsters. So in some time in the future, if this is definitely an issue in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, you can play this skill right here to kind of counter it, which is honestly pretty cool if you think about it. But at this moment, I don't think the skill could see any play when it comes out in the Dark Side Dimensions world, but you never know. Next up, this is another skill where I think this could possibly go for Mokuba Kaiba, because I think Mokuba Kaiba kind of needs some skills of his own, but at the same time, this is most likely for Seto Kaiba. But I can see this skill either for Seto Kaiba or Mokuba Kaiba. We'll have to see when these characters get released into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. But anyways, though, Dragonic Reincarnation, you can send a level 7 or higher dragon monster from your hand to the graveyard. Add to your hand one level 4 light attribute dragon monster from the graveyard. You only use the skill once per turn. So basically, this is just kind of helping really get some dragon plays, because some dragon decks do really like to use the graveyard. So you can pitch one of your level 7 or higher dragon monsters to kind of get them going in the graveyard and get their effects going from the graveyard. Then you can add a level 4 or a level 4 light attribute dragon monster from the graveyard. So that's pretty cool right here. Like Alexander Dragon could be a good option for that with Dragonic Reincarnation. So that's cool right there. An interesting skill. And then we also have Dragonic Reverse right here. Unable to, or usable on turn 4 onward. Add from your hand. Add to your hand from your graveyard a dragon monster whose level is the same as the turn number. You only use the skill once per duel. So yeah, interesting skill right here. This is kind of the opposite spectrum from the Reincarnation, but instead you can use this skill to add dragon type monsters from graveyard depending on what turn it is. So maybe that grass is green or dragons could potentially work with Dragonic Reverse, but the only issue with this skill is that it's very it's reliant on the turn, and I feel like it would be difficult to go into certain combos because of how reliant it is depending on what turn it is right there. But yeah, Dragonic Reverse, interesting skill right there. Like I said, when it comes to both of these Dragonic cards, I could see both either Seto Kaiba or Mokuba both having these skills. So we'll see if that happens in the future. But yeah, it's very interesting. Next up, we're going to be talking about this skill called Farewell. And honestly, I don't know who would use this skill when it comes to the Dark Side Dimensions world. So if you guys want to, in the comment section down below, be sure to tell me what you guys think that this skill would go for whatever character. But yeah, Farewell is a skill where you can return one monster from your field to its owner hand. You only can use this skill once per duel. Now, with how the wording is on this skill, you actually could, if you have a card that could take your opponent's monster and put them on your field, you could use Farewell's effect to then return that monster that's currently on your field back to the owner's hand. That's since it says the owner's hand. If you econ take one of your opponent's boss monsters, play Farewell, you can return that monster, you just econ take, give it back to your opponent, and then they would have to summon that monster again. So that's a little cheeky thing right there. Or if you want to, I feel like the skill can potentially promote some effects where you summon a monster and you want to use that monster's effect again. On your next turn, you can use Farewell to return that monster back to your hand and then summon your monster yet again to trigger its effect. So for example, if you have a card that searches from the deck to your hand, on your first turn you summon that monster, activate its effect to turn or activates effect to, you know, search a card, and then on your turn 3 or whatever, you can use Farewell, return that monster back to your hand, summon it again, and then use its skill or use its effect yet again. So I could see that potentially being a thing with this skill, and I think Farewell could definitely be a interesting skill that somebody could figure out a really busted combo with to really get into some awesome plays. So Farewell seems like a very interesting skill. Will it see play? Maybe not, but it's still an interesting skill to look at nonetheless. Next up, we're going to take a look at Decoy Tactics. You can use this skill after your life point decreased by 1500. Put from outside your deck 1 Decoy Dragon on your field. You cannot special summon monsters the turn you use this skill. You only can use this skill in a deck with 5 or more dragon type monsters. You only can use this skill once per duel. So Decoy Tactics is most likely a skill for Mokuba Kaiba, and you only can use this after your life points decrease by 1500. But yeah, once you do that, you can put it from outside your deck 1 you know, decoyed dragon onto your field, which is pretty neat. So let's go talk about Decoy Dragon himself. This card's a 2-star fire dragon effect monster. When this card is targeted for attack, you can target a level 7 or high dragon monster to your graveyard, special summon that target, but then make it attack target instead, and then you proceed to damage calculation. So automatically, I could definitely see Decoy Dragon and this skill work pretty well in that grass screener deck, especially because of the fact that Decoy Tactics actually allows you to special summon the Decoy Dragon from outside of your deck onto the field. So that grass screener could probably use this, or if you just need to bring back a big, just a huge dragon monster from a graveyard back on the field, you can use Decoy Tactics in order to do that. So there's that right there. Still, it's pretty handicapped because you can't special summon any other monsters turn to use the skill, and you're kind of a sitting duck, and you just kind of have to wait for your opponent to attack into you. But yeah, Decoy Dragon could potentially save you for a couple turns just in case if your opponent does not want to trigger Decoy Dragon's effect right there. So that's pretty cool from Decoy Dragon, and maybe this skill could see play. I can see this skill seeing some play, but we'll see what happens in the future. Next up, a skill that's definitely going to be for Mokuba Kaiba, in my opinion, is my Gem Dragons. If you have 3 or more of the below monsters in your deck, normal monsters will be in your starting hand more. So all 4 of these monsters, Hyro Zinru, Lesser Dragon number 2, Lesser Dragon, Dry Dragon, I believe are all at Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, so we're not going to talk about those cards in the video itself. But yeah, if you want to run this skill, you have these monsters in your deck, you will normal monsters be in your starting hand more. So if you want to see these Lesser Dragon, Alexandrite Dragons in your hand more often in the duel, go for my Gem Dragons. Other than that, though, I don't really see this skill seeing that much play at all, but still neat that we're getting it in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. The next skill we're going to talk about right here is a skill that I'm not too sure which character is going to have for Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. So you guys can tell me in the comment section down below what you guys think these last 2 skills I'm going to be talking about are going to be used for, but potentially these are either for Scud or the main antagonist character in the Dark Side Dimensions. I think his name's Agami, but I'm going to correct myself post-editing if I said his name wrong, but I'll pop him up on the screen right now. The main villain from Dark Side Dimensions, and this skill could probably be used for him. So anyways, though, this skill is the theme this time will be pain. Sounds like a Yubel skill, if I'm being honest. But anyways, when you inflict damage to your opponent, add 50 more damage every time. This skill will not activate when your opponent has less than 1,000 life points. So first impressions on this skill, I could definitely see this skill potentially being for a burn deck, and that's the only really deck that I could see this skill being useful for, because since you're going to be playing so many burn cards in your deck, you'll be able to keep triggering this you know, effect every single time. So there's that right there. I think this will work great in burn decks, and other than that, probably won't see the skill that much at all in other decks unless somebody finds out a cheeky combo that he can get his opponent's life points to a super low amount of life points, and you only need to inflict 500 or 100 more damage to your opponent. So then then the theme this time will be pain, will be very useful right there. So that skill could be pretty useful right there. But I don't know if this will see that much play except in burn decks. So there's that right there. Next up, we're gonna take a look at You're Really Cute, Aren't You, which is just a weird name for a skill, for being honest. But anyways, though, decrease your opponent's life points by 50 at the start of your turn. Skill doesn't activate when your opponent's life points are less than 1,000. So yeah, you could use the skill to trigger it right away. You don't need to rely on other cards to inflict battle damage to your opponent to really trigger this skill. You get the guaranteed 50 at the start of all your turns. Still, I think that this theme will be pain is more useful than You're Really Cute, Aren't You? But at least with You're Really Cute, Aren't You, you guarantee the life points getting lost right there, so you could slowly decrease your opponent's life points over time with this skill right here. So I don't know, this could be either for Scud or Agami. I really don't know, but that's pretty cool right there. Well, like I said, that was the last 2 skills for today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Leak video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video from start to finish, and if you haven't already and you enjoyed, be sure to smash the like button in the video down below, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and be sure to join as a YouTube member today so you get to support me as a content creator and all that good stuff right there. But yeah, I think it's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for watching today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Leak video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody.